guys, welcome back to my channel, to everybody who's returning, and if it is your first time to my channel, hello, welcome. I am Adisang and this is my channel, aka your new home. And of course, to make sure that you've got the keys to your new home, all you've got to do is smash the subscribe button below, give this video a massive thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, leave a comment, and just like that, you're part of the family. So let's not waste any time. In today's video, guys, we are doing another book review. We're doing another book review, and I did mention that they will keep on coming. They will keep on coming because I'm reading a book a month, all right? So in this past month, in the book month of May, I read a book called Without a Trace by Nora Roberts. This is what the book looks like. And Without a Trace is a romantic suspense book, but it's also fictional. Yeah, let's get right into the cool. So this book, Without a Trace. It started off very slow. Okay, not very slow, but it started off quite slow, and then the story sort of picks up as you continue reading. So if you read the first page and you're not captivated yet, don't lose hope. All right. So this book is about a man called Trace. Now Trace is basically one of the main characters in the book. And Trace comes from a family, a musical family, Trace O'Hurley. And so the O'Hurleys are musical, and they perform and they tour together as a family, cute stuff. And they've been doing that, and until one day Trace was just like, this is not cut out for me. I'm not cut out for this. This is not what I want to do. No. And then Trace was just like, no, I am going to leave, and I'm going to basically build a better life, or build a different life for myself, outside of my family and what my dad wants me to be doing, which is being on stage. So when Trace left home, he was not on good terms with his father, and he left the country. He went to another country. So Trace is now in a different country, and he is living his best life. He's in a bar somewhere, and a woman comes to him. The woman comes up to him, and this woman has been looking for him. She's been looking for him, and found him. Basically, the woman needed Trace's help, and so she explained the whole situation. She needed Trace to help her find her brother and her niece. Her brother and her niece were kidnapped by these other people because of a project that they were working on. So basically Trace was just like, no, I'm not doing it. Why me? And she explained how she got a hold of Trace's information and why he's the best man suited for that job. Basically begging and showing that her brother and her niece's lives are, like Trace was her last hope. And Trace was just like, why not get the ISS involved? And she was like, no, you are the best man for the job. Cool. After explaining everything, Trace then realizes that the people who have captured or kidnapped this woman's brother and niece are the same people who killed his best friend. Now, obviously, that is, personal. So Trace is like, I'm doing it. I'm actually going to take this job. And obviously, the woman had offered him money as well, which was basically, it was a lot of money that was basically going to be a retirement fund for Trace. So cool. Trace agrees to doing the job, and now they start thinking of how all this is going to be executed. Mind you, they don't know where the brother and niece have been are being kept, and yeah, they basically don't know much about their whereabouts. So because Trace is an expert in this field, he's just going to the right people to and putting pieces together, going to people to interpret certain things. But guys, Trace is amazing at his job. Like he could literally turn into me right now. Like different places, he's a different person to different people at different places. If he needs to change his accent, he does so. If he needs to speak a different language, he will do so. All right. So pro at his job, he's a very like a very well put straight guy, serious guy, and yeah, he's that guy. So Trace is like, yeah, so I'm gonna do this job and you just chill. You chill. And this woman is like, hold up, hold up. This is my brother, this is my niece. I need to know how you plan on getting them here. And you know what? As a matter of fact, if I can help, I'll be more than happy to do that. In fact, if you can use me to help get them out, we're doing this. I am so doing it. And Trace is like, no. So they had a lot of back and forth, and basically they came to somewhat an agreement. All right. They found what works. Even other days they didn't find what worked, but time is of the essence. They still had to keep on going. So Trace is like, so Trace had to meet a few people under different disguises, and just to get closer to finding out, number one, where they're being held captive. Also, yeah, basically to just figure out how is he going to do this, because obviously the people that have kidnapped these people are people that have that are guarded, that are armed. They're not just people he can just walk up to and threaten and be like, hey, give these people, and no, these are like well-resourced people. So then Trace is like, cool, I'm doing it this way. I'm going to go meet so and so. So in some places they would go together, especially when he was under a certain disguise, because that particular person was known to be good with the ladies. So she was a perfect fit. She would then dress and act like how, yeah, the women that he'd typically be with would act, right? So in this particular case, especially towards after they had found out where they were being held captive, and so he arranged for a meeting under a different disguise, of course, with the general at the place, the general of the guys who kidnapped and who kidnapped the brother and the niece. And he was actually after the general because he believed that the general was the person who gave orders for his best friend to be killed. So he was like, I'm going for this guy. I am going to get him, all right? I'm going to get those people out and I'm going to kill this guy. And then when he went for this initial meeting, this woman stays behind and does something very stupid and ends up being kidnapped as well. So the people who kidnapped the brother and the niece were also looking for the sister, which is this woman, because she was also working on the project with the brother and she had certain information that they needed. So now they kidnapped her and they took her to the same place, right? So when Trace is at this place, he's acting different. Of course, he's under different disguise. And he's basically just sussing the place out and just trying to see where what is, where they've got guards, where they have certain things put, and where they're keeping their brother and their niece, and all that information that will basically help him rescue them at the end of the day, right? So cool. He then finds out that no, wait. And then before all this woman Kantiena, she's looking and she falls in love with Trace. She falls in love with Trace and she doesn't fight it. She tells him upfront that I'm a gone girl. I'm falling for you. Okay, yeah. Obviously she didn't say that, but she basically just came out and she's like, you and I think. And Trace was a very straightforward guy, and of course he's on the job and he's like, we're not doing that. As a matter of fact, he also caught feelings and he convinced himself that I'm only here for the job. I'm here to get paid. I just need to I need to take to help to rescue the brother and the niece, and this woman will be out of my life. So also, I'm not a man that just like that would settle with a woman. Like, no, that's not the kind of life that that is that I'm set out for. Cool. He's convinced himself. And then one day, because the heart wants what it wants, things happen between the two of them. And even after that, Trace is hardcore. He's like, focus. And this woman has caught feelings. She's like, no, let's do this. She's just like, no, we can do it. We can make it work. And Trace is like, no. Look, I'm only here because I need to rescue your brother and your niece, all right? Get yourself together, basically. So cool. Trace is being a hard nut to crack, whatever. And this woman is like, okay, cool. Suit yourself. But because deep down, Trace really had feelings for this woman, when he found out that the lady was also kidnapped, this became personal. It became so personal. He had no option. He had no choice but to actually go back. To go back and to go rescue the three of them. Now this time the woman, the brother, and the niece, all right? Also, while he was there, he discovered that the general was actually weak. So the general is the guy at the top, right? And then there's his second in command. The general does not make the orders. The second in command gives orders, and then they're made to seem like they come from this guy at the top, the general, when in actual fact, they actually come from this guy here, all right? So that's new information to Trace. So everything changed. He's like, so this guy, the second guy, this guy is the one that actually gave orders for my best friend to be killed. So he's the one I'm after, right? So he's not so much after the general anymore, because the general is basically, he's weak. So Trace went back with some guy that he used to work with in other jobs, right? And they went back and eliminated the guys at the entrances, da, 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 you know. And Trace is like, he's a strong man. Like, well, he's not like, oh, but he knows he's good at his job, all right? So they eliminated the guys at the entrances. But also the woman inside, she's also a bit smarter now, you know, because she's lived with Trace for a while. She now knows how to check for hidden cameras, how to do all those other sneaky stuff, and how to fool the guards and make them think that they're sleeping, and how to know, like, she knew things that normal citizens don't know, like, or don't think of, because we live normal lives. But because they're living an adventurous life, yeah, she knew all those things. So she was kept in the same room with her niece, and the brother was kept in a different room in a lab. So she basically told the niece, no, let's pretend we ate, because they've put in stuff for us, like they've spiked our food and our drink so that we fall asleep, blah, 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 blah. In the end, they were able to escape. But because they're not being kept in like a normal room where you just open the door and you're outside, like this building, number one, had like no windows, one entrance. So they had to go through levels basically to finally be outside. And obviously this place is like, it has a lot of guards, and it's got cameras. It's, yeah, you know those places, like what they look like in the movies, where they keep people held captive and whatnot. So then, while she and the niece escape, Trace is on the other side, and of course none of them know this. Trace is on the other side trying to fight to get in and to get to them, right? And at the end, the Trace went to go rescue the brother, and the brother's like, no, I'm not leaving without my daughter. And he sort of just wants to explain that, hey, just go with my friend or with my colleague, and I will go and find your daughter and your sister, and I'm going to rescue them. And trust me, he was going to rescue them, because the woman that he's caught feelings for is inside. But also, he needs to complete this job, he needs to do it. He needs to, yeah, basically just make peace with his friend's death. But also, if he didn't do that, then he was gonna die. Basically, someone had to die, especially at this stage. So he ends up finding the woman and the niece, and the niece is also reunited with the father, and they're told to leave the building, right, with the colleague. So Trace and the woman, Trace is like, no, I'm going, I need to go finish, I've got unfinished business inside. And this woman is like, I'm not staying behind, I'm coming with you. He couldn't say anything, he couldn't do anything. So they went inside together, and they went to the general's office. And so the general was also shot, and he was face to face with he stood face to face with the second in command. Now the second in command was shocked, to say the least. And Trace was like, guy, you know what? It's over. it is over. You are dead. And then, as he said that, the general got up and, yeah, basically they thought that the general was dead, um, only to find out that he wasn't really dead yet. So he got up and then he shot the second in command. He shot the second in command and then he was out. So Trace didn't have to do anything to the second in command. The general killed him. And then now the woman, and so Trace's colleague had an explosive, right? And he had set it off. So this woman and Trace, they run. Now things like, there's a lot of commotion. The building is falling apart. You know, they run to the entrance and then the rocks start falling in front of them and the entrance was closed and they realized there's no way we're going to make it out. They ran back and then they try to find, and then because Trace is like, he's a pro at these things, he's like, no, there must be another entrance in the general's, from the general's office. Let's look for a bookcase, da 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 da. It will lead to an exit, right? They look for it and then they find it. And then basically it opened up to an exit point. And then they left, they exited, right? And everything fell apart behind them. Like rocks came, rocks were falling and everything just came tumbling down. And they ran. They ran and basically reunited with everyone. So now everyone, the woman's family is reunited, and Trace and this woman are also just like, what are we doing now? You know? It's a bit awkward, but also everyone is so happy because they realize that mission accomplished. Those people, done with. And then they left. They all left, and so the woman had arranged. Trace had not been home in so many years, and as a matter of fact, like his family members didn't even know where he was, for the most part. So she had arranged that Trace goes back home for his sister's wedding. So Trace had 3 sisters, and well, they were triplets. So one of them was getting married, and nobody in his family expected to see him. But he went home, Trace went back home with the woman, and everyone was happy to see them. And he also made peace with his father, which was really cool. Yeah, it was all very nice. Everyone was happy, and then at the end he ended up asking the woman to marry him. And yeah, that was the end of the book. It was really cool. But yeah, Trace, a talented man, that one. He's very talented in, well, he's good at his job. He can literally be anything. So yeah, guys, this was a good book. It really was. It was refreshing to read. I did say that it is a fictional book, so if you can get your hands on this book, do get it for yourself. You'll enjoy it. Yeah, I believe so. And if you're not subscribed yet at this point, guys, I don't know. I don't know what I'm not doing right. But anyway, if you're not subscribed yet, please do smash the subscribe button below, like right now. Thank you. Thank you. Also, if you enjoyed this video, give it a massive thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, leave a comment. Let me know if you are going to get this book for yourself. Let me know if you've read it and your thoughts on the book. And yeah, that is it. It was a nice It was a nice book. It really was. Gonna rate this book 5 out of 5. Yeah. I'll see you guys in my next video. And until then, guys, my lovely people, take care of yourselves and God bless you all. Ciao.